Oh my god, guys, hello. My camera broke, like I said, so I'm using this and it's really bad quality. I've got a light here, and if I take that away, look how bad it is. Yeah, so I've got this stupid little light that's blinding me. I can't do any action figure reviews at the minute, guys. I'm sorry about that. I'd like to, but this camera just isn't good enough. But we're going to carry on with my weekly movie discussion, so get involved and drop all your comments down below at the end of this video and whatnot. I'm just going to address last week, so we'll start off with the two from Facebook. So the first one on Facebook was, do I know any other famous YouTubers? I don't know any now. A few years ago, I knew Glenn Webb quite well. We went to a couple of Comic Cons together, but I mainly spoke to him by text, and we video chatted quite a lot. I was good friends with Glenn. It really was quite disheartening when I found out, you know, obviously he'd passed and stuff, but he was just a great guy, and I'm thankful I actually even got to speak to him and stuff, so that's pretty cool. The second one is something about how many action figures I have in total. I don't know. I've never counted. I've got a lot. Now you bring it up, it feels kind of daunting to think about counting them. So yeah, there you go. And lastly, the comment on my video. I hope no one else left a comment. I haven't checked, but it was just Ben, my mate Ben, Ben Turton. Known him since he was a kid. Always been a solid guy. A really good friend of mine, actually, old friend. And because it's you, Ben, no one else would get this, but because it's you, when I've known you so long, we're gonna talk about it. So he asked me in the comments which one I prefer, X-Men 3 or Spiderman 3. This is something I don't like to give much thought to be fair. Spider-Man 3 is terrible, and X-Men 3 is terrible, and I could sit here and say, basically and say, well, you know, there was this good actors in X-Men, so that one, but then there were good actors. Well, there wasn't really great actors in Spider-Man 3, but the characters were good. Like, they did have Venom, and that was sick. It was the only Venom we ever had on screen. So I would hazard a guess that if I had to sit there and I had to watch one of them, I would probably pick Spider-Man 3. But I wouldn't be proud of it, and I wouldn't tell anybody I'd watched it. It'd be like a secret shame thing. I would rather watch Batman and Robin 20 times than watch X-Men 3 or Spider-Man 3 once. So yeah, there you go, guys. Now that's out of the way, let's get into my movie discussion. So the first thing we're actually going to talk about is why people aren't hyped for DC movies. So I think the first reason people aren't hyped for these movies is just because of how messy they've been with bringing them out. Once again, love DC. Always love DC, but I have to be honest and say I like the majority of the DC movies. I really like, but it's just it's how they were handled. It's not the actors or, you know, anyone's fault like that. I don't know whether it's the director, but it's the big people at DC. You know, I believe they are the cause of the problem. They've been very messy. I saw something recently, kind of annoyed me, but it's kind of true and it comes up all the time. These other big movie companies, they literally see the success Marvel have. Okay, I'm not sticking up for Marvel. It's just, that's the way they do it. They see how much money Marvel have earned. They're bringing in dollars, got a huge fan base, and they try to do the same and emulate it. But if you've ever played a Nintendo 64 emulator on Windows XP, you'll know emulating things doesn't work. If you've ever tried to emulate a guitar player, if you play music, it doesn't work. You can't be Slash. You can play Sweet Child of Mine in some of his riffs, but you can't be Slash. It just doesn't work like that. So, DC, you can't be Marvel. You should have done your own thing. That being said, I can't wait for Aquaman. I literally can't wait. I can't wait for the next Gal Gadot movie, Wonder Woman, whether it's Wonder Woman 2 or she's in a different film. I can't wait. Okay. I love Shazam. I have always loved Shazam. Black Adam's one of my favourite characters from any comics as well. I really love Black Adam. I'm really hyped for Shazam. Just as a whole, when I sit there and I think about what's going on now, Henry Cavill probably ain't going to be Superman anymore. You know, Ben Affleck's not going to be Batman anymore, which is a big problem for me. I actually thought Ben Affleck is my favourite on-screen Batman. I thought just in the little roles he's been brilliant, you know. And he plays Bruce Wayne so well, too. God, I'm going to find it very hard to carry on with DC, knowing this. I'm not going to go into all the movies as hyped as I was, you know. When all the stuff with Batman and Superman started coming out and stuff, I was really hyped for the DC ride. Now, not so much. It's a shame. And that's all I'm going to say on that one. So, the next one is, how do I feel about, like, sequels? So, like, you have Iron Man 1, and it's brilliant. And then you have Iron Man 2, and it's pretty much more of the same. I enjoyed a lot of Iron Man 2. I didn't really enjoy Iron Man 3, but that's just because of how poorly they treated Mandarin as a character. AntMan was a brilliant movie, and that's one of the films, you know, I honestly feel like Ant-Man 2, or Ant-Man and the Wasp as it's called, that really amped up the whole Ant-Man thing. Do you know, it took it from A to B. It gave it that extra boost. Like, I do feel you got more when you went to see Ant-Man and the Wasp. Not going to talk too much about that, but oh my god! Oh, come on, Avengers 4. Yeah, and it's I get the same feeling if Ryan Coogler's going to do a second Black Panther. You know that shit's going to be good. I can't wait for Black Panther 2. That's just going to be so much more bigger and more epic, and we never know who we're going to get to be the antagonist. We'll just have to wait and see. But yeah, so what I'm trying to say, I guess, is sometimes Marvel, they get it right. They'll release a movie and then a sequel to that movie, and it'll be just as good. And sometimes it just slowly not gets worse, it just, I don't enjoy them as much the second and third time around. And I guess a lot of people feel like that towards things. Yeah, I haven't really got anything else to add on that. It's just one of those things, you know. People can be very fatigued. This is the other thing as well, like, you know, you bring one movie out and it's so massive and everyone loses their mind, and then when you bring a sequel out for it, it's just the second time round. So a lot of people's interest will drop naturally, and that's no one's fault. So there you go. And then the last thing, okay, that we're quickly just going to talk about, and I know I haven't talked about a lot this week, but I honestly can't deal with this setup. It actively makes me mad. So this week, the last thing we're going to talk about is, so, other movies I enjoy. It's been very apparent in my mind, it's been a main focus, okay, that recently I haven't watched many other films other than, like, superhero movies and stuff like that. But let me tell you, like, I love filmmaking. I've always been passionate about it. I'd love to write and make my own films one day. I really like Quentin Tarantino's film. I don't think there's a Quentin Tarantino film I dislike, and I've seen them all. My favourite one is Reservoir Dogs. I don't know if I've ever said that. I don't know how other people think. You might have thought my favourite would have been Kill Bill or Pulp Fiction. Pulp Fiction is amazing. I do love that movie. But I don't know, Reservoir Dogs, from the first time I see that film, I just thought it was an amazing film. And, yeah, so I really like Quentin Tarantino. And then, so I still love movies that came out, you know, when I was a teenager and stuff, when I was a bit younger, that I don't know other people liked. So, like, Frank Miller's stuff, like, I loved Sin City, and then, did he do 300 next? 300's a badass film, and I love the way he shoots things. I don't think people go back and give these movies enough credit. Have you seen The Spirit? The Spirit is a brilliant movie. I love The Spirit. I would still go and put that on right now. Like, I'd go watch it today. You know, I still enjoy that movie that much. There are other movies I really like. Do you remember just watching films like Miss Doubtfire and Liar Liar and Me, Myself and Irene and just films like that? Like, I love those films, and I don't feel like they do as well now when they come out. One of my favourite films, it'll always be one of my favourite films. Like, when I want to laugh, I watch Step Brothers. Like, I love Will Ferrell. Like, I like him in a lot of things he does. I love The Land of the Lost. I like Danny McBride. He makes me laugh in pretty much everything. I went out my way to watch Eastbound and Down, because I knew he was in that. And then, obviously, all the Judd Apatow films, so, you know, they're all pretty funny and relatable. So I do enjoy those movies. But yeah, I do worry about, you know, the movie franchise as a whole, the whole going to the movies experience and things. Like, we have seen a steady decline, okay, in what kind of films come out and stuff, and it does genuinely take me back. I do sit there and think about it a lot and think, oh, well, where's this going to go? We don't want to just be dominated by Star Wars and Marvel films forever and whatever DC throw out and stuff, do you know? They've already had a shot at Narnia, doing the Chronicles of Narnia, but I would like to maybe see some more of them films. They can't really do much more with The Lord of the Rings, but I heard a rumour a few years ago about Viggo Mortensen coming back to possibly do an Eragon movie about, you know, when he was a ranger and he left Rivendell, and the whole hunt for Gollum, and, you know, Ian McKellen was apparently attached to it as well. I heard this rumour and I would have liked to have seen that. You know, it's a shame nothing ever came of it. Maybe because the Hobbit films didn't do super well, but I honestly believe that's just because they put a lot of stuff in they weren't necessary to do. You know, they put a lot of stuff in that we could have done without. I'm sorry I'm not looking at you guys in the eye, by the way. This light is ridiculous. So yeah, that's all I really wanted to speak about. But what movies? Okay, so don't ask me questions this week. I'm gonna ask you guys a question, and I want you to respond. So, if you had to name 5 movies that weren't Star Wars or superhero related, no, pick 3 movies. They're not superhero related. They're not Star Wars. They're not that sort of fantasy. Like, other films that you've watched through your life and you've really enjoyed, so you've gone back to watch them. Even if they're just the classics. Mary Poppins, brilliant film. Wizard of Oz, brilliant film. I don't care what you think, okay? I like Wizard of Oz. I don't care what you think of me because I like Wizard of Oz. I just do, okay? Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, that's a good film as well. But you tell me in the comments down below what other kind of movies you enjoy seeing. And also, if you've noticed that there is a gap now in the whole movie media where just certain films aren't coming out, yeah, that's what I'd like to talk about. But no rom-coms. because they're pretty much all the same and we would be here all day. So, let's not talk about rom-coms here, okay? I do my loving in real life and then that's it. Right, I'm going to leave it there because it's 15 minutes and this light's killing my eyes. So, peace out, guys. Love you all, and I'll see you soon for an action figure review when my camera's fixed. Bye.